Welcome to the 28th week of this year's In Times Like These recap. Now, let's get into this. Starting with Heidi Russo, who is confronted by her husband Gianni, his parents Lorenzo and Clarice, and Gianni's brother Isidore. They inform her that Dr. Terry Murphy exposed Heidi's affair with Commissioner Finnegan Burke on national television. Heidi feels like Quinlan and Pacho worked together to get Terry to expose the affair. Since Heidi is unable to find proof of that, Isidore suggests that she and Gianni present themselves as a united front. He advises Johnny to confess to sleeping with Quinlan, which Johnny reluctantly agrees to do. Alan Russo arrives at Terry's apartment, asking his older lover why she didn't give him a heads up about exposing Finnegan and Heidi's affair. As soon as Terry apologizes, Finnegan bangs on the door. As soon as she convinces Alan to go into the other room, Finnegan enters, threatening to expose Terry's darkest secret. Since Terry doesn't want Alan to overhear that she helped his great-grandfather Dante Russo take his own life, Terry prevents Finnegan from speaking any further. Once Finnegan is gone, Alan returns to the room, promising to do whatever it takes to protect her from Finnegan and his own family. At Theodosius Palace, Zeke Franklin speaks with his girlfriend Nichelle Torres, telling her how Quinlan explained how he's been making her feel lately, assuring her that he still values her. When Nichelle asks Zeke why they haven't hooked up all summer, Yulisa enters the room, then Zeke leaves. Once Yulisa wonders what that was all about, Nichelle tells her younger sister that Zeke assured her that he would never give girls like Yvette Mitchell the time of day. As soon as Yulisa tells Nichelle that Yvette is supposedly dating Keeve Burke, it makes Nichelle feel a bit suspicious. As soon as Vanessa sees the masked stalker, unaware that it's Keeve Burke, she runs into her family estate, asking JJ to call the police. When the police, Jeremiah, Shelley, and Raymond arrive, Vanessa is relieved. Unfortunately, she's troubled that the stalker didn't leave any clues that could reveal his identity. As Keeve rides his bike, he tells himself how he didn't want to scare Vanessa, but that he doesn't want her to have any peace, since he's upset that she's getting close to Max Russo. Nichelle bumps into Yvette at the mall, questioning Yvette about her relationship with Kiev. Yvette tries to assure Nichelle that she's committed to Kiev and hasn't paid Zeke any attention. Despite Yvette's claims, Nichelle doesn't buy it, warning Yvette to stay away. Max Russo shows up at the Dorval estate as Vanessa Dorval informs him about the stalker showing up at her house. This troubles him to the point where he confesses that he crossed paths with the stalker in the past, informing her that the stalker had a knife. This not only troubles Vanessa, but she is frustrated that Max kept this to himself. He tells Vanessa that Ben knows, but that doesn't give her comfort since the stalker is still at large. Filled with concern, Max spits out that Keeve is her stalker, but doesn't go into detail as to what Ben found in order to protect her. Since Max failed to provide her with any proof, Vanessa asks him to leave her family's estate. Quinlan Franklin enters Pacho Torres' office, upset that he allowed Terry to expose Heidi and Finnegan's affair. She goes on to warn him that the Russos will retaliate against her, and that Ben will be upset that she told Pacho about the affair. Heidi enters her son Ben's office, telling him that she believes Quinlan and Pacho are behind Terry's public confession. At first, Ben doesn't buy into his mother's theory. Since Quinlan hasn't shown herself to be trustworthy before, Heidi reminds her son that Quinlan couldn't be trusted in the past, and is certain that she can't be trusted in the present. Terry is confronted by Isidore at the hospital, telling her that she made a huge mistake by exposing Heidi's affair. He demands that she endorse Heidi as district attorney, or else he'd expose her for helping his grandfather Dante to take his own life. As Finnegan hides from the media in Harley's room at Theodosius's palace, Alan arrives and is disgusted. Once again, Finnegan and Alan go back and forth. Alan also warns his mother that the longer she stays with Finnegan, the more likely she'll be heartbroken just like Terry. As soon as Alan leaves, Harley begins to wonder why Alan constantly cares about how Terry was affected when Finnegan was unfaithful. When Ben arrives at Quinlan's apartment, she reveals to him that she told Pacho about Heidi and Finnegan's affair. Ben is upset by this, questioning why she would do that. She reveals that Heidi had been causing issues for her and Pacho, and that Pacho must have worked with Terry to get back at Heidi. As for Ben, he expresses his disappointment in Quinlan for keeping him in the dark, walking out on his girlfriend. When Yulisa arrives at the Dorval estate, Vanessa informs her friend how Max believes that Kiev is the stalker. Yulisa reminds Vanessa that Kiev has always given her bad vibes, but Vanessa explains that she doesn't see Kiev as a threat. Despite that, since Kiev isn't a born-again Christian, Yulisa advises her friend to keep an eye on Kiev. Isabel informs Yulisa that Nichelle seems upset. So when Yulisa checks up on her older sister, Nichelle tells Yulisa about how concerned she is that Zeke might be cheating on her again with Yvette. Yulisa advises her sister not to jump to conclusions and speak with Zeke about her suspicions. At the mall, Yvette tells Kiev that since no one seems to believe that they're a genuine couple, that they need to put an end to their scheme. Kiev isn't ready to give up just yet, urging Yvette to come up with another plan. Since her parents, Wanda and Udell, will be out of town the following weekend, Yvette plans to throw a house party and make people think that she and Kiev are sleeping together. Quinlan tries calling Ben, but he ignores the call. Max walks in, telling his older brother how he told Vanessa that Kiev is her stalker. Ben is upset by this, since he feels like that would only put Vanessa in even more danger, but Max assures his brother that Vanessa doesn't believe him. Since Vanessa was told, Ben quickly comes up with a new plan. Because it's clear to him that Max still has feelings for Vanessa's, he encourages his brother to make Vanessa grow feelings for him. That way, Kiev would be able to notice and confess to his crimes in a jealous rage. At Vivian Jones's apartment, Pacho expresses how guilty he feels for losing Quinlan's respect by betraying her trust. Just as Vivian tries to assure Pacho that Quinlan won't stay mad at him forever, he questions if she wanted to see the chaos. Pacho goes on about how Isidore is busy pursuing Isabel and that the Russos are faced with public embarrassment due to Heidi's affair, making Pacho state that Vivian must be loving this. Once Vivian responds that it's just business, Pacho feels like Vivian has a personal agenda, telling her that he desires to know what it is. As he pleads for answers, assuring Vivian that he'll always stand by her side, his hand touches the side of Vivian's face and almost kisses her. They're interrupted as Pacho receives a notification that Gianni and Heidi are on another news network, where Gianni confesses to cheating on Heidi with Quinlan. Can't get enough of the crazy world of In Times Like These? Then, treat yourself to a binge watch of In Times Like These. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. You're not ready for what's to come, but tune in anyway.